Hello and welcome to PalaceFanTV for our February review video, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, click the description below, go and watch it and then come back and watch this video. We're here at the Railway Club in Selhurst and I've got Terence Ford from redandbluearmy.com/.co.uk and Chris Grierson from eagles.cpfc.co.uk. How you feeling, lads?
Good.
Despite February?
That's a lot of .co.uk's.
It's a lot. Got to get them right. You moan about them every month when I get them wrong, so I've been doing my research. Right, in part 2 of these review videos, we look back and we ask the guys for their player performance of the month and player of the month. Not being a vintage month, February, Terence. So who's your player of the month for Palace?
I hate how this catches me by surprise every single month. I guess the easiest thing to say is Connor Wickham's second half performance against West Brom was pretty good. You look at the Tottenham game, I thought Martin Kelly was excellent. Slightly less so in the West Brom game, but I thought he had a really good game against Spurs. So basically because of the way that I nailed my colours to the mast with Wickham earlier on in the season, I'm going to have to say Wickham's second half performance against West Brom. Scored 2 great goals. The first one to harry and cause the mistake, and then to show it was excellent to lift it over the goalkeeper, and then the calmness of the finish despite the pressure coming back at him. And the second one is just an outstanding finish. So
okay, I did ask for your player of the month, but you've gone straight to performance. That's absolutely fine.
Oh right, okay.
But we'll come back to you for that. I feel like you've taken the 2 good options for Chris. So what? I don't know what you're going to go for.
Player of the month?
Player performance.
Oh, you want performance?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Martin Kelly, Spurs. Just because he'd been out November. I think November was the last time he played, which is quite incredible when you think that he is a good player, and he's played during our good period at the start of the season as well, and he didn't even get a game over Christmas during any of that busy period. Came in, great finish, and I thought he defended really well as well.
Yeah.
Side looked balanced. I'm going to go Martin Kelly, Spurs.
He always does a job, Kelly, doesn't he? Comes in, he's a good sort of squad player, but is there a place for him in the future for Palace?
I'd love to see him play centre back. He wants to, I think, from what he said in interviews.
Yeah, I think there is. I think Damo's looking a bit tired. Could do a rest. There's nothing wrong with this season when Suarez back. Slot him in there. I thought he did a good job at Anfield last season when he played there. And I was meaning Connor Wickham's second half performance against West Brom was my performance of the month.
Okay, so who are you going to go for player of the month?
Connor Wickham. No. Player of the month is I think a lot tougher one to go by. I think I said it last month as well, but it's probably got to be Wilfried Zaha. He's having a really tough time of it. Of just since Bolassi's been out, 3 players on him at every time, getting kicked all over the place. And I thought at Spurs for that entire first half, he just got kicked, and then to carry on battling away, despite getting booed by the crowd because they considered that he's diving because he's not winning any of the free kicks. And then to hold off the 3 Spurs players and slotting Martin Kelly like the way he did, I thought that was very impressive and showed a maturity that we probably haven't seen from him before.
Absolutely. And what about you then, Chris?
Am I allowed to go with that?
I mean, you can if you want. Yeah.
Oh, because mine's Wilf.
Okay.
But I think Wilf's been the best player this season, so
He's very much stepped up, hasn't he?
Definitely. When does he ever have a bad game? There's never any time where you say, oh, Wilf didn't do much today. Every game, even every defeat, he's looked the most dangerous. And I think with Balassi being out, there's been more pressure on him because he's been the only kind of tricky wing, fast outlet, and I think he's dealt with it really well. So there's a lot more to look forward to with Balassi back in the team.
The criticism with Wilf has always been end product, but do we think we're seeing, with the Spurs goal, we're seeing a bit more to his end product these days?
Yeah, that, and what was the other one? It was against the Stoke in the Cup.
Yeah, we went
dribbled through in the middle but placed the shot instead of just powering it.
I think there was a couple of times as well. The game against Watford, he put 2 on a plate. Put 1 for Fraser Campbell, 1 for Adebayor, and so on another day he gets 2 assists there and so on. So the end product is definitely becoming on a more consistent basis. And also, again, I've got to hark back to the maturity thing. You say he never had a bad game. What you used to get from Wilf, if first half an hour he wasn't really in it and he was getting frustrated, he'd stay that way for 90 minutes. But what you're seeing now, he knuckles down and carries on because he knows, he should know, he's got the beating of any fullback in the world. I don't care who they are, he can beat anyone on his day. So if he just keeps plugging away, he's going to get past them eventually. And there's been a few times this season where he's not really been in it for the first hour, last half an hour he's dominated. So.
Speaking of dominating, we normally talk about the Palace ladies team at this point in the videos. They're still having a great season, aren't they, Terence? They're unbeaten
in the league. They're still unbeaten. I think on the last video we mentioned they just got knocked out in the cup by West Ham, who were the division above, in a tight game. I think that was 2-1. Had a top of the table clash against Gillingham on the weekend, away from home, and got a 1-1 draw after falling behind, and by all accounts dominated. The very thorough reports on the Crystal Palace website said that they were camped in the Gillingham half for the second half and won a penalty through shakes. I'm showing my women's knowledge now.
Good research.
And Gemma Bryan slotted it away.
Good stuff.
So that is pretty much means they've taken 4 points off Gillingham now, so they're going to struggle to catch them.
So, I mean, we've got a Palace team that's doing really well.
Yeah, the ladies are. There's a really good atmosphere. We've been down to training recently, and it's a good laugh. They all seem to. I think they've said the secret behind it, as well as being great players. They've got a good manager and coach, but they all get along with each other so well. There's a really good spirit, and they're just not. They're not relenting, because you'd think winning that many games, and they win by big margins. I mean, there's a lot of double figures.
Yeah, it was like 12-0 a couple of weekends ago. Yeah.
Yeah, which the players actually said they don't want that. They don't want to be playing against teams where it's double figures. They want games where it's not so easy to win, but they're not letting up. And I think the standout player for them, Leanne Bell, this season is she's been pretty exciting. She's scored recently. Her and Gemma Bryan, I think, have been the stars recently. So
good stuff.
Lots to look forward to with them.
Good. Well done to the ladies. Hope they can keep it up. And go up. They'll go up, wouldn't they? Is that right?
Yeah. There's only one promotion spot though, so you have to win the league.
Right.
And then you have to have something like you have to have a certain amount of money.
Right.
To pay for it, but they're getting there with the official link between the club and the ladies, I think.
Fantastic stuff. We also normally check in on the Palace's loan players that are out on loan in lower divisions. Jake Gray's doing pretty well, isn't he? Out on loan at Hartlepool. Johnny Esther's gone to Forest.
No, MK Dons.
MK Dons went to Forest.
He did go to Forest, yeah.
Johnny Esther's always out on loan, isn't he, Chris? He seems to spend more time out on loan than with Palace.
He does. We miss him.
We do.
I think he just needs a run. He didn't get that at Forest, but it wasn't through injury this time. He's been injury-free this season, pretty much, which has been important for him. Mm-hmm. He's stacked now, which I know he worked on a lot in the time that he was
little
out.
Guy there, doesn't look weird. Little guy stacked.
Yeah, little guy stacked. Yeah, like Barry Bannon on steroids.
Yeah, I really hope. I just really want it to work for Johnny Williams. I think it's just any Palace fan, for anyone who comes out of our academy, you really want it to work. It's a shame he didn't get one at Forest, but they were going through a really difficult time, I think, and having to play a very different style of football because of the amount of injuries that they had in attacking positions and so on. Hopefully it worked from MK Dons, but they're in a relegation battle, but I suppose he's been there in Championship relegation battles before with us, so a bit of experience there at such a young age. So I really hope it works out for him, but it needs to happen soon, I think.
Yeah. Good. Well, best of luck to Johnny there. Now, we're normally at this part 2 in the review videos, we do our power rankings, which is where we rank the 5 best players for Palace this season, but then update it at the end of each month. So at the end of January, we had this 5. We had Kabai top, Scott Dan second, Yannick Bolasie third. He jumped up to third without playing a single game. MacArthur at 4th, and Zaha at 5th. So my first question to you guys is that the 5? Would you keep that as the top 5 this season, or is there anyone else that would sneak in for you, Chris?
I'm still thinking.
Terence.
I can't see anyone sneaking in. If you say Jordan Much,
that's what I was thinking.
I don't think the order remains the same after the last month. I think there definitely has to be some change there. I think there's been some poor performances from the number 1 and number 2 on there.
Well, and you both said that Wilf was the best player in February, so I guess he certainly deserves to move up from 5th further up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, let's take him out. We're gonna take 1 and 2 out as well, and maybe sort of rearrange it.
Can you draw Connor Wickham's head just poking up here?
Yeah, well,
peeking over the top.
I was pretty bad at GCSE art, so I don't know if I can do that. Where are we going to put Wilf then? Let's stick Wilf. How far has he jumped up with his performances in the last few weeks?
He's started to add goals. He's adding end products assist wise as well.
Yeah.
Kabai, since MacArthur's gone out, I think has really been off the boil. It looks like he doesn't trust Ledley or Jednak or anyone's alongside him in the midfield. Whether it was McArthur, he always knew that he could just give the ball and McArthur would hold, keep possession, give the ball back to him, and it could play the game that you wanted to play. Without him on the pitch, he looks like he's just trying a little bit too hard. He's launching the ball too much. His pass percentage has fallen off a cliff compared to what it was when McArthur was in the team.
So does Wilf go up to number 1? I mean, would that be unfair?
I don't think it would. I think the steps he's made in the last month and the month before that as well, where he moved up to 5 because he wasn't on there before, he's just making jumps up for it because he's so valuable to the team. Good
stuff. Well, there you go. Wilf from 5th up to 1st. That is unprecedented. So does that mean Cabaye goes down to 2nd, or I mean Dan was 2nd
Dan
before?
Scored.
Yes.
Scored, yeah. Scored twice, I believe, in February. Yeah.
But also left Craig Dawson with a freedom of our 6-yard box on Saturday, and I hate Craig Dawson.
I think most Palace fans do.
Yeah.
I think Dan probably for the goals probably stays at 2.
Yeah.
For now. Does that mean we got Cabaye at 3?
Yeah, I think Cabaye deserves to stay at 3. Clearly.
Yeah. I think
he's our best midfielder, isn't he?
I think he's just hanging on to 3 ahead of Balassi for me. And again, he's only played a handful of minutes of football, Balassi, but in that time he showed how valuable he is to us. At the Spurs game, he came on, proved to be a great outlet on the counter, and he completely changed the game. But the fear factor he has when he's on the field, everyone in the Premier League believes the hype about Yannick Balassi, and just him being on the field, they're scared. It pushes them back further down the field, and West Brom didn't know what to do with him. He was taking liberties. He's swiping the floor all the time, and he would just look like he knew that he was at that time the best player on that pitch, and he was loving it and basking in it. And it's definitely
he needs that confidence, doesn't he? He needs to believe he's the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, he's pure entertainment as well, Yannick, and he's just become this personality.
He's a brand. He's become a brand.
He is, yeah.
That the selfie at Spurs, all that.
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
I was going to say the selfie at Spurs was brilliant, and it wasn't planned either. He was just. It was our cameraman's phone that he did it on.
Really?
Yeah, because we were filming that behind the scenes thing, so he went on the pitch and he was like, "Jem, have you got your phone on you? Have you got your phone on you?" Yeah.
It's proper in the moment.
We've got some videos of him working out how to press the
button. He's a Samsung kind of man. He was using an iPhone.
So he actually drops down to 4th.
Yeah, but I think that's because of the jump that Zaha's made, and I don't think that's too much of it's not a slight on Balassi. It's just he's only played a handful of minutes, but I think it'll be too much to drop Cabaye down that far.
And then Jimmy Mack at 5th.
Yeah, still.
Even though he hasn't played.
But it's again.
What's the first name?
Jimmy Mack.
Oh yeah. Didn't even plan that. It just happened. Okay, so that's our power rankings.
Doesn't know how to spell McArthur.
Yeah, I don't want to be embarrassed on TV.
Changed since before as well. What's going on there?
I don't know. I just like to change it up.
You get other people to write your props for you.
No, I don't have anyone to do that for me. If anyone wants to apply, you can do via PalaceFanTV. Those are our power rankings then for the end of February. Wilf making the biggest jump, and as we said earlier, definitely taken on the mantle of Palace's main attacking threat. And hopefully we'll see more of it. That's it. That wraps up our part 2 of our February review video. Thanks to Chris. Thanks for coming back on.
Thanks. It's good.
Good man. And Terence, thanks for just always being here.
Yeah, there's nothing better to do.
Good man. Good man. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button because we've got loads of things going on at PalaceFanTV. Comment below. Do you agree with our power rankings, or would you put them in a different order? Comment below with your power rankings below the video. And follow us on Instagram and Snapchat. We're doing snaps from every away game this season. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.